Good evening and welcome, traders. It is Monday, November 13, 2023. Let's dive into the markets and our trades for today and see how things are going. If we take a look quickly at the markets, we'll start off with SPY. A massively unchanged day on SPY today. Dropped down a bit early, ran back up during the afternoon session, and then finished off of its highs, finishing right at this exact downtrend line that we've been watching here now since the middle of July here. So started in July, tapped it here in September, tapped it here in the middle of September, tapped it Friday, tapped it again today, couldn't get over it, but that's where we held up, was this descending triangle that we have, but really the downtrend line here. MACD, one-day rollover on the daily, and RSI just a kind of a sideways day. If we take a look at the weekly, we have seen improvement in both MACD and RSI for the last 3 weeks. This week, again, just getting started, but this would be the second week of a bullish PSAR signal. So I think that's all good. So we'll keep an eye on it. I think this is perfect for strangles. It's perfect for a lot of different opportunities. I think the market's got two directions going. You've got this upward weekly that we're trying to, and then you hit this downtrend line, and the daily maybe stalling out just a fraction on this big run up. We remain above the 2 ATR. We didn't get to the 3 today, but we remained above the 2 ATR line. So I think we are, from that standpoint, getting a little bit overdone, and we've stayed there now for 2 sessions, but the RSI and MACD are not telling you that you're overbought yet. So I think it's a good thing. I think you could see some pullback here on the daily, but the weekly still strong. Great spot to make some neutral type of trades. But overall today, pretty much just a nothing day. I think down $4 on SPX, down 42 cents on SPY. Let's take a look at the Qs. Pretty much the exact same story here. Down fractionally, down $1 on the Qs. Nasdaq dropped to 46 points on the session. Exactly the same type of scenario, except on the MACD, the RSIs, daily and weekly. Everything's identical, except we had broken through the downtrend channel here on the Qs and busted up heavy over the 2 ATR to the 3 ATR on Friday, which is sideways here. And then today, an inside bar day. So very indecisive day here on the Qs and tech stocks. They are a bit overdone when you look at the 2 and 3 ATRs. Maybe a down day trigger here on MACD. We'll see what happens. But overall, still a little bit overdone. Pullback would not be out of the norm. If we take a look at the IWM, the Russell here, you've got just another sideways day. MACD and RSI struggling to do much of anything to get bouncing higher like the SPY and the Qs have done. Failing again for the second straight session to get above the 21-day moving average. Again, we still bounced off of the bottom of this downtrend channel, which is all good. Nothing exciting to see there. And, just moving sideways and consolidating down a bit. Bullish PSAR still. If we get something rolling in the next couple of days, I think they get a good opportunity to keep moving up on this breakout here. But right now, just some sideways and bottoming or descending action here. Let's quickly take a look at the SPX stocks over their 50-day moving average, massively unchanged. 45% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. Put call down again today. So again, the more this starts to fall, and the more we stay under the one line here, so the more we can stay under that and drop a bit, the more bullish the market gets. VIX up just fractionally today. Didn't do a whole lot of anything. Finished at 1476. MACD trying to get something going. So maybe we've seen volatility kind of basing out here as it kind of hits the 2 ATR level. When that happens, we tend to get a spike for the most part. So basing out here, maybe some volatility comes back in if we get a sell-off in the next day or so. Taking a look at the U.S. dollar index on the session today, dropping a bit on the day, finishing pretty much where it started, but dropping a bit, down 0.2%, just staying in this sideways channel. The U.S. dollar doing nothing. MACD trying to improve. RSI really doesn't know where to go. And on a weekly, you've definitely got some selling here as we start to trend lower and lower and lower. MACD RSI is falling on the weekly. So can we get the dollar breaking down further here? We'll see. TNX, 10-year Treasury, popped up a bit today. It was up higher, hit the 21-day moving average, and then closed back towards the lows of the session. MACD and RSI still trying to improve on the daily. On the weekly, though, they are still in a bearish mode. So again, bearish weekly, a little bit bullish on the daily. It seems to be a theme that's going on right now, where the weekly is telling us one story and the daily the opposite, which means maybe a little bit more sideways consolidation continues to happen. And bonds today down on the session again. Now, on the daily chart here, MACD has been rolling over for 3 sessions. RSI is falling on this, but if you look at the weekly, RSI has been improving, and so has MACD. And we're in a bullish PSAR situation here. Again, same type of thing is going on here. You've got the weekly telling you one story and the daily telling you another, some sideways action as maybe we're waiting to see CPI or something else that comes out. I don't know that that's really going to move the markets, but who knows, maybe a big number either way could move the markets in one direction or another. If we're taking a look at the euro, the Forex today, we'll start with the Aussie dollar. Up fractionally on the session. Looking at the British pound, up fractionally on the session. And again, weekly down, weekly's pointing up, daily's struggling a bit. Canadian dollar, down fractionally on the session. Weekly is pretty much sideways, and so is daily. So it's a pretty sideways move. Good for a strangle. 6E up on the session. So again, weekly been really improving overall, and the daily's just been sideways to down fractionally here, but not bad enough. Coming down to the 50 moving average, still above the 21-day moving average, which continues to move its way higher. I like it here. I think 6E is really setting up well for a 1-1-2 trade or potentially some other credit spreads or something like that. Put credit spreads. All right, bonds we've already covered. Down just or sideways for the most part today. Not a whole lot of anything going on in bonds. We did take the opportunity today as this weekly continues to improve and the daily is pulling back a bit. We took the opportunity to sell some more naked puts here on ZB. Oil trade on the session. See if we get a little bit of a bounce on the weekly. So far, MACD RSI has been heading lower on the weekly, so definitely in a bearish tone for weeks now. And then if we look here at the daily charts, you've had 3 straight up days moving here. So all good on those as we continue to move higher. Today, pretty much a flat day overall. Or I'm sorry, an up day, but not a big up day. But what was important today as we moved up was we did get right-sized back inside the 2 ATR, and we're very close to setting a bullish PSAR reversal signal. So we've been in a bearish PSAR mode on the daily now since all the way back here on October 24th, and now we are fractionally away from triggering a bullish daily PSAR signal. So we'll see what happens with oil, but we were able to close the naked puts on a 112 today, and oil, and we have naked puts on 112. I like them here, and I think oil, this is a good spot for it. Yes, it can move lower, but we are really watching these support levels in here. They held up well on the last bounce. We'll see what happens. I'll probably remove this one since we've really not done anything with it. Still in the downtrend until that breaks. You can't really get super bullish, but we are going to play a little bit here with weekly down, daily trying to move up. It's a good spot here. I think if we can get up towards the 21 EMA, I think that sets up well for a strangle opportunity in there. Taking a quick look at the oil volatility as well, just down on the session, but really not a whole lot of anything to write home about. I'm sorry, it's actually up on the session, looking at the candles. Up fractionally on the session, but it did open higher, finished lower on the session. Weekly's down, daily's moving up. Again, moving sideways. It's a good spot for oil volatility. I think it's still enough volatility to get some trades on. If we take a look at gold on the session, gold did bounce a bit on the day. Looking at the weekly, still a couple week downtrend now. Now, that could all change tomorrow. We have one bar down and then another bar this week, but it's a one-day week so far. So nothing urgent, but PSAR is bullish. So overall, it's still in a bullish higher high and right now a higher low situation as we continue to move upwards here. And I like gold. I like it in here. We're doing well. We've got two strangles running. Both had good days today. One of them's at 33% winner, so we're hoping to get that taken out. And that's only 13 days old. Playing the volatility here, because when we look at the volatility on gold, 13 days ago, we had decent volatility, get those trades on. Volatility has definitely come out of gold as it's dropped here, now maybe trying to move its way back up. But overall, gold volatility has been dropping. Beautiful for our strangles. On that, I wish we had more running, but we do have two in gold, so I think that's pretty good for where we are. Taking a look at the sectors today, your winning sector, which is not a big win, was XOP, which is your oil and gas producers on this ETF. Weekly is in a downtrend, MACD and RSI. Daily is in a reversal uptrend, MACD and RSI. You're extended well past the 2 ATR, almost to the 3 ATR. So I think you're getting a little bit of a bounce here on that. Of course, along with that goes energy as well, moving back up inside the 2 ATR band. Weekly down, daily up. Yeah, just a theme here. If you look here at XLE, you're right in the middle of the tightening Bollinger Bands and tightening ATR lines as well. Good place, in my opinion, for a strangle. Get it on now while it's tightening up a bit. Other than that, you had a couple other sectors up, healthcare, biotech, the XLY, as well as XLI, KRE, those up just fractionally. Your biggest loser on the day, and really wasn't that huge, but 2.8% down on the semiconductors. But the weekly trend has been up, and the daily trend has been up as well. So it's in a strong move. A pullback is not a bad thing here. And then if we try to figure out where tech is, we talked about this with the Qs, but look at tech, how overextended this move is. Man, this is a massive up move, way over the 3 ATR level, up into the overbought territory on RSI. I think tech needs to take a break, and I think you could get a break back to 170-ish here or the 21. So I would expect a mean reversal coming off of this 3 ATR level. So coming back down, we'll look at communications as well, which is your Google and your Meta. Still just nice up movement, solid, no oversold, overbought, anything here. Just a steady, even progression, and that's your Google and your Meta. Let's take a quick look at the stocks itself. So with the tech stocks, just like we just talked about, you've had a good weekly move up, but the daily getting a little frothy on Apple here. 3 ATR, banged, broke it Friday, dropped below it today. It's pretty sideways, so I think this is a good spot to really do a short term, 1 week trade, maybe a butterfly, put butterfly on Apple, I think would be in store here. And MACD, RSI, potentially rolling over a bit. So I think you could get, I wouldn't short anything. I'm not going to I'm not going to do call credit spreads here. I think the risk of the upside is still there. However, what I do like are butterflies in this situation. They're low risk, high reward trades, looking for a move back to maybe 180, 178 in there. I think if we get that, it would be a good move. So I think a butterfly on Apple there would be fantastic. All right, let's take a look at Microsoft. Pretty much the same scenario. So Apple and Microsoft, your two big drivers of tech, both of them on the daily over the 3 ATR, overbought, and MACD trying to roll over, RSI overbought, and maybe starting to dip down, break below the 70 level here. I think if you get this thing moving to the downside, so if Apple and Microsoft start moving to the downside, I think put credit spreads are very worthy there. I'd be targeting like 350 or so here for a butterfly. And I said put credit spread, I meant butterfly. Put flies on both of those as we move lower. All right, Amazon. Here's your XLY trades. Amazon, 4 bars now of MACD trying to roll over and RSI starting to head lower. Even though the weekly's been up, I think it's a good spot in here to just let it hang. I don't think I'm shorting. I'm not getting long. I think this thing just needs to consolidate. Maybe it's a bit of a bear flag coming up in this situation, or a pennant. We'll keep an eye on how things go. With Amazon, nothing to really do there. Meta, just a solid mover. Moved up, breaking some of this resistance level on Friday, breaking it again today. MACD and RSI, just a beautiful, calm move up. Nothing overdone. We're still below the 2 ATR, even though we poked above it today, and still below the 3 ATR. I think Meta has more upside potential. And if it gets any kind of a pullback in here, I really like Meta in here. And it really the same thing is going to go for Google as well, which been after the earnings, it's just been a nice solid move up. And we've got the gap to fill left over from earnings. We're getting there. Friday was a pretty good move. Today, it pulled back fractionally, but I think it looks good overall. Let's see what happens on Google. I think Meta's the better play of the two. Got NVIDIA. We're getting closer and closer to earnings. So earnings are coming up on the 21st. So next Tuesday, I believe. So next Tuesday, earnings on NVIDIA, but it doesn't care. It's not waiting for earnings. It is cranking up here all the way to the 3 ATR, and RSI on the daily is overbought. That is not a move you want to see heading into earnings here. Now, it doesn't mean earnings aren't tomorrow. They're a week and a day away. So we could get a nice pullback into the 450-ish range here for earnings, and then we could see where we go from earnings here. At this point in time, on this move up, earnings are going to have to be doggone good. All right, Tesla, a nice up move today, up 9 points on the session. So Tesla moving up, MACD moving higher, RSI moving higher, trying to break above the 50, which is a good sign. Maybe this gap here to fill is in the charts. We'll see what happens. Looking at the weekly, though, we got some basing action coming off the 200 and moving higher. MACD and RSI trying to get their mojo back to move higher. But really right now we're just watching the daily, and the daily looks fairly decent for Tesla, breaking it back above the 21 and the 200 day today. So those are both good moves on Tesla. And in NVIDIA, Netflix just continuing gap and go. This thing since earnings has been on fire, even though a slow bleed on MACD, and then RSI is a bit overbought as well and trying to tip back over. All right, so there's where we are in the markets and some of the different stock opportunities that you may have. Let's take a look at our trading accounts and see how things look. So let's jump in and let's take a look at the daily account. So here's our main income navigator portfolio that we run in the service. So today, 11/13. Delta in great shape, 334.1 delta, very delta neutral to me. Anything between 0.2% plus or minus, I think is as good as you want to be. And I wouldn't mind being slightly more negative, but it's very hard to do when my trades are primarily 112s and strangles. Now, the strangles, definitely delta neutral trades. 112s start off delta positive and become delta negative as they age, which is a pretty interesting phenomenon, which really helps our accounts. The problem is most of our older 112s are starting to come off. So we're not really realizing some of that. But right now, if we're looking at the main trading account, we have none of the November long-term 112s on. They're all gone. The PDSs are gone and the naked puts are gone. We've already realized profits on both the put debit spread and on the naked puts, closed some out. So we'll talk a little bit more about that on the session in a minute here. In fact, I got to update my realized gains on the day. Theta 969. So Theta's dropping a bit here. So we'll keep an eye on Theta. We got to get a few more trades on. We didn't put anything new on today, but I think we'll look to get some trades on as our buying power is starting to really starting to free up a bit here. We're as low as we've been. Now, NetLick moved up again today, 328. We are $1,600 away or so from new all-time highs. Actually, probably a little under 3,000. So maybe $2,700 or so. So $3,000 away, which is on a $338,000 account, not a big move. We can easily hit that in a day. Today was a $4,000 up day in NetLick. So NetLick moved up nicely. We are fractionally away from a new all-time high. I mean, 0.1%, I believe, is where we are. So, a tenth of a percent away from a new all-time high. And BP usage really dropped today. You got, even though there's a move up in VIX, we took some stuff off and we're in pretty great shape. I like where we are with BP usage. We're back into the 50s again, which is where we were a couple times in the last week or so. But back in the 50s, I think this is giving us an opportunity to put some stuff on. Now, we did close some trades for winners today. So let's take a quick look. 3,660 today. Okay, so $3,660 on the session today, which is fantastic. So that takes our total for the month over 19,101. We were at 15,000 last month, 4,000 the month before, 15,000 the month before, 19,790, which I think is one of our largest months ever. So we are $700 away from having the largest realized gains month we have ever had. We're up almost 6% on the month in realized profits. So if you don't think realized profits matter and it's all about your NetLick, you're wrong. Your focus should be on generating cash flow on the realized side. And if you do that, your NetLick is going to follow naturally, okay, unless you're taking the money out. So if we look at our NetLick on the month, $8,300 up, we're almost 3%, which is our goal every month, is to increase the account size 3%. But at 3% monthly realized, I mean, we've doubled that already this month. We were above it last month. We missed it here back in September, but then we crushed it again back here in August, crushed it again back here in July, and then just fractionally beat it in June. So we are having some fantastic months here, but this is shaping up. It's the 13th of the month. Things can go wrong. I can be closing some losers out and we can go backwards. But overall, if we stopped right now and didn't do anything, it'd be a hell of a month. But we want to set that new all-time high. So let's see if we can get to 20 grand this month. Pretty sure that's very doable. Although we've closed our 112s for November, so we would be looking at the December long-term 112s, of which we are at 92% on the naked puts on one of them in 90 days. So that's definitely something to look to take off. I think we'll probably get that going. We've also got a BA. So the big ass 112 is doing fantastic. The naked puts on that are almost at 81% in 27 days on the naked puts. And we're doing nicely as well on the put debit spread. We've also got a FB 112. We've got our put debit spread working on that. And then we've also got a standard 112 in November with just the put debit spread. So we've got lots of negative, lots of negative delta. In fact, all of the November and December trades, whether they be FB 112, standard 112, or the BA 112, or a long-term 112, all of those together are negative delta. And our December long-term 112 is at a negative 17 delta right now. So as I said, as these things age, it's got 31 days left, but as these things age, they become negative delta here, especially once you start to take off the naked puts. But once those naked puts, once the theta comes out of those things, once they start to disintegrate on you, you really start to get some things going. Let's take a look here at the trades on the session. So the first thing that we did today was we actually closed the naked puts for 95 cents. In fact, let me double check that here. Yep. So closing the naked puts today for 95 cents on this particular ES November 30th long-term 112. So that was pretty nice. Now 95 cents. Technically, I should be doubling that, so it would be $1.90 here. So I double the amount, and this was a long-term 112. So we'll take that, and we'll take those two off. So in pretty good shape there. Enjoying that one right now. A nice $2,000 winner on that alone today. Then we had a Iron Condor on SPX. Only made 75 bucks on this thing because the market started trending up early on, and I just got out of it for a small winner. I did close the naked puts on a November 15th 112 in oil, and we already had the put debit spreads closed, and we closed the naked put today for 2 cents. Freed up all of our buying power, which was a lot of buying power. We opened this trade with an initial maintenance of almost $16,000. Wasn't quite there right now, but still, you're well over $10,000. So this is, closing this 3,700 naked put and the 68 naked put on oil. Those two freed up a ton of buying power that we had working out there. And then we also were able to place another call credit spread this afternoon. We put it on for 50 cents, closed it for 15 cents, a nice 70% winner. Small, only did 5 contracts on it, 175 bucks. So overall, 250 bucks in 0 DTE trades. Totally fine. That's my goal on the day, is about 250 bucks. That's all I'm looking for. In order to do that, I risk about 1,200 bucks if I lose at a 2x loss. So I put these on. I'm averaging somewhere around 600 bucks in credit. If I win, I make, 250, 300. If I lose, I'm going to lose 1,200 on it, and I'm all good with that. So I've been consistent. I'm not going giant size. We're doing really, really well on those 0 DTE trades. But closing the 2 naked puts today, giant moves for us. So super exciting move. In fact, this is actually a 4. There was 4 contracts of those. But anyway, we'll leave that go, because always my naked puts are at 4. on that. And if we take a look at what we brought in, that was a pretty decent little payoff for us there today. So, all right, so closed those and had a pretty nice winner overall on that particular trade. All right, that's it for today. Good job on the daily, making over $3,000 there. If we take a look at the small account, we actually booked $228 there on the small account by closing a long-term 112 naked put here as well for $2.70, book 228 there. So adding it up now, we're at 669, so 4.37%. We've achieved our 3% goal, which going back here, we've pretty much achieved at 3 to 4%, 7% back here, but 3 to 4% every single month. That's what we're looking for on the small account and the big account. So we're in great shape there. And if we look at the IRA today as well, I believe, oh, no, we're $300 short of a new all-time high, but it's in great shape here. So we're hanging around new all-time highs on the IRA account. All right, so good stuff today. I'll clean all this up. And if you like what you're seeing here, come and join us. We've done some fantastic stuff on 112s today. We talked about how to take off those naked puts early, when to leave the PDS, when not to leave the PDS. We've got training on how to adjust a put debit spread, when to adjust, what legs to adjust, how to adjust it, how often to adjust it, when to close it. So we're really getting into those details on how to manage the PDS side. And then on the naked put side, I typically will take them off at 95%, but I will also adjust that early in the trade as well. And we talk about how you can actually generate more income taking those off early, but when to take them off, when does it make sense? Not just because it's up 50% or 60%. You can't look at the percentage that your naked puts are on and set a percentage that I'm always going to take it off at 80 or 90 or 60 or 50. Okay. That's not the determining factor for when you close your naked puts. We went through that with our members today. If you want to find out more about that, there's a great mastermind discussion early this morning before the market opened on exactly how to trigger taking off the naked puts in your 112 trades, not by a percentage. Okay, exactly what metrics do we use to know when to take those off and how much to take off and how to adjust those. So there are times when we'll adjust them down by a strike, we'll close them completely. We may add a long put or several long puts above it, turning it into a put debit spread as well that locks in the profit and frees up the BP. All kinds of things that we can do in this particular trade for it. And if you want to learn more about that, come and join us in the Discord. The education is phenomenal. It's all about education. You want the alerts, that's fine. They're there. Okay. But that's not what you should be there for. You should be there to figure out exactly how to create your plan, how to adjust your trades, what trades to get into, when to get into them, when to adjust them, what types of trades you can be in. We've got all kinds of different trades in there. We're not just covering the 112, which is the core. We're covering bear trap trades. We're covering call credit spreads, put credit spreads. We're doing butterfly trades. We're doing tiered butterfly trades. And we got something new and special coming out on the 112 as well. We've got a really unique version of this coming. So lots of great things. So if you like this video, please click the like button. Helps me out a bit here. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Let your friends know. Go ahead and drop some comments in there. I'll try to address as many of them I can. Just remember, some comments, if you want actual trading help and actual ideas, some of that stuff I just don't give out for here. I do got to reserve something for the members, but I'll try to help you guys with as many things as possible. I want to give you as much as possible to learn from. All right, get your mind going and know that, hey, there's more out there and there's ways to trade this market that are outstanding. All right, you guys take care. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.